I'm going to recommend that we go ahead and get this in here. I'm going to be on page 8, 9. I'm going to put mine on page 10. You should not have any skipped lines. Go as fast as I can, but as slow as we need to. Put your name. Okay, guys, I'm going to be very blunt. We're going over this because this is what everybody was struggling with. These steps in this order will always work, but this is not always the fastest way. I'm going to try to train you to think mathematically so that you guys can learn how to find ways to do shortcuts and when it makes sense to do shortcuts, okay? So this is going to go on page 10. Your work for the assignment is going to go on page 11. So if you find that you know what to do and you're tired of waiting for people to hush and go on, you can go ahead and get started on the assignment at the same time. I have no problem with that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look and see if we can simplify inside the parentheses. So when we're talking about an equation is something that you solve. It has to have an equal sign. If you have AirPods in, go ahead and take them out for the lesson. Bare minimum, one ear needs to be open at all times. We're going to look and see if we can combine like terms. Inside these parentheses, can I put those together? Are those like terms? No. So what do we need to do? Distribute. So distribute just means we're going to multiply. So we're going to go ahead and multiply this through. It's okay if you have a calculator. Does anybody without a calculator know what negative 8 times 7 is? Yeah, it is negative 56. Negative 8 times negative 3y. What's a negative times a negative? Good. What's 8 times 3? 20. 24, and don't forget the v. It's really important that you don't forget the v, because if you forget the v, you're going to combine things that can't go together. These can't go together. So now our goal is to move all the variables to one side and all the constants to the other. I only have one group of the variable. This is what I want by itself, so I'm going to move that 56 to the other side. So plus 56. You guys, what's 8 plus 6? That's 14. So 14, carry the 1. 8 plus 6 is another 14. Bring down the 24. And then our last step is going to be to divide or multiply. So we're always going to divide or multiply as our last step. What are we going to get by itself? What letter do we want by itself? The V. What's with it right now? That's what we need to get rid of. So are we going to add, subtract, divide? We're going to divide by 24. Do you guys know how to do that in the calculator? You're just going to press Control Divide to get that fraction, and then you can do 144 over 24, and it gives you 6. Do you guys know how to check your work in here? Do you remember how to do end solve? Yeah, so make a little note for yourself. You can check with menu 3, 1. I do not care if you get every question right. If you do not show the step-by-step process, I care about the process. We're trying to help your brains learn how to problem solve. If you do not show the steps, I will not give you the credit. So throwing this into the calculator, you just go menu 3, 1. You put the equation in. You tell it what variable to solve for. and it will give you the answer. You can 100% check that way. But if you just have the answer, it does not mean you understand the process. And I care that you understand the process. You're getting points for the process. You guys understand? Okay. On number 2, do you know what to do first? Go ahead and distribute, yeah. Negative 12 minus 12a equals negative 39 minus 3a. Make sure you can tell the difference between your 9 and your a. De Hoyos, what do we do next? Can these go together? Can those go together? So tell me what to do. Okay, we want to put those together, but they're not on the same side, so you can't put them together. You got to move one. Which one are you going to move? I disagree. You're allowed to move either one of them, but I want to deal with positive numbers. Do you guys want to deal with negatives, or do you want to deal with positives? So do I want to say plus 3, or do I want to say plus 12? I want to do plus 12 so that when it combines with the negative, I'm left with a positive. We're just going to bring down that minus 12. What's negative 12 take away 3? 12 take away 3? You're doing division. What's 12 take away 3? Minus 9a. So I've got the variable on one side. What do we need to move to the other side? Am I going to move the 9 or the 39? The 39. I want to do addition because right now it's doing subtraction. So this side's easy. I just bring down that minus 9a. This side's a little tricky. When I'm adding and subtracting positives and negatives and they have different signs, do I add and am I adding or am I subtracting? Does different signs mean addition or does different signs mean subtraction? It means subtract because you're going in two different directions. This is like how much money you have. This is how much money you spent. So it's basically 39 take away 12. What's 9 take away 2? What's 3 take away 1? And it's positive because we had more than we owed. What do we do next? Divide by what? Good. What's 27 divided by negative 9? Negative 3. We don't care which side the letter's on. The variable. When you're ready, go ahead and open to the inside. You guys notice I already did a really big problem? We're going to talk about it, but I wanted you guys to focus on understanding and not be stressed about writing everything down. That looks like a whole lot's going on, right? It's not bad. You just take it one piece at a time. So you're just going to distribute. See that negative 6? You're just going to multiply it to each thing. And that's where we got 6 times negative 3. That's where we got the 18R from. Negative 6 times the 4. That's where we got the negative 24 from. Negative 6 times 1. Negative 6. Negative 6 times 2R. Negative 12R. And then these I just brought down. And then we just started to combine like terms. Can you see that the 18 and the 12R come together to give us that 6? Are you guys okay that negative 24 and the negative 6 gives us that negative 30? The negative 8 and the 8 cross out. And then we've got R plus 3R. You can think of this as a 1R. So 1 plus 3 is 4R. Then we need to get all the letters on one side. So I just subtracted 6R. So here I broke my own general rule of thumb. Normally I want to deal with positive letters, but I would have had to add the 30, then subtract the 4. So this is just less steps. So minus 6, I brought down the negative 30. I brought down the 2r. I'm divided by negative 2 on both sides, and I get 15. It looks scary when you start, but as you go through, you'll find ways to make it a lot easier and smaller for yourself. So for example, on this, can you guys see that I have negative 6 multiplied by this whole group and negative 6 multiplied by this whole group? What would happen if I divided both sides by negative 6? What's negative 6 divided by negative 6? What's 5 divided by 5? If you have 5 cookies and 5 people, how many do you each get? 1. So what's negative 6 divided by negative 6? Yeah, so just cross it out. So we've got P plus 3 is equal to P plus 7. Okay, guys, then I want the letters all on one side and I want the numbers on the other side. Do you guys want to put P on the left or the right? Do you care? So how am I going to move it? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Subtract P from both sides. Guys, what's P? Take away P. 0, right? So we just have 3 equals 7. Does 3 equal 7? Is 7 and 3 the same number? No. No solution's a really important thing because in real life, when you're using math to find solutions to problems, sometimes you're going to get that there is no solution. Sometimes that's just how it is. What do we do on number 5? Joelle, stop. You could. You can definitely distribute. It's not wrong. It's just less steps. Since they both had the 6 on both sides, it's less steps to divide it. It's not wrong. You can distribute and then you'll still get the same answer of no solution. It'll just be bigger numbers. Okay, you guys, we could distribute this. Or does 96 divide by 6 equally? We can distribute, but we could also divide both sides by 96. Both of those options work. Do you guys want to distribute or do you want to divide? Dividing gets you smaller numbers. Distributing gets you bigger numbers. Which one do you want to do? That wasn't one of the choices. Multiply or divide, bud? Okay, so if I divide this whole side by negative 6, I have to divide this whole side by negative 6. These will cross out. The whole point of dividing is so that these cancel each other out. What's 96 divided by negative 6? Use your calculator if you need to. 96 divided by negative 6. You're right, it is negative 16. We want to get that variable by itself. What are we going to do? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. What are we moving? Do we know what we want to move? Do I want to move the 2 or the 6? Nope. Don't want to move the 2. We want to move the 6. How do I move it? Right now it's subtraction. What's the opposite of subtraction? That's going to be negative 10. What's my next step? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. De Hoyos, do you know what we do? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Divide by what? 2. Okay. Elion, tell me my first step on number 6. Distribute. Okay. Can you tell me what negative 5 times 7a makes? Pretty close. 35 is the right number. What? Negative, and then what? Don't forget that variable, yeah. Alex, can you tell me my next part? So we did the 5 times the 7. What do we still need to do 5 times what? Yeah, what's that make? Negative 5 times positive 2. Good. Tobias, what's my next step? I'm going to zoom in a little bit. When you're ready, Tobias? I heard mama. Yeah, what can go together? What's it going to make? Give me a number. Add. Because you're going in the same direction. You're digging that hole deeper. Negative 41. Okay, I'm going to leave it. There's a mistake. Can you guys see how you might think these can go together? They can't go together. What did we forget here? The A. Angel, tell me my next step. We want to move the 10 to the other side. Am I going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide to move that 10 to the other side? We want to do the opposite. So right now it's subtraction. What's the opposite of subtraction? You guys, what's 318 plus 10? Manuel, do you know what our last step is? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Dividir. See? And then you guys may get a fraction. It's okay if you have a fraction on your assignment today. This came out to equal just negative 8. Malachi, can you tell me what my first step is on number 7? And then Kevin, you're going to help me with my second step. Malachi, do you know how to distribute? Kevin, you want to go first and we'll come back to him in a minute? Do you know how to distribute? Tell me what to write down. Tell me one thing to write down that's not the exact same as already here. Okay, so see how here we took this number in front and we multiplied it to each thing inside? That's distributing. Can you take this negative 8 and multiply it to each thing inside? Malachi, wake up, bud. Tell me what you get, Kevin. What about the 8 times the n? Negative 8n. And then you're right, 8 times 7 is going to be 50-something. It's going to be 56. Is it going to be positive or negative? Because 2 negatives make a positive when we're multiplying or dividing. And then this side's just going to stay the same. Okay, Malachi, when you're awake, give us the next step. We got to move something to the other side. You tell me what we want to move it, and you tell me how we're going to move it. Malachi, we want all the letters on one side and all the numbers on the other side. Do we want to move the 8 end to this side or the 5 end to this side? Okay, so if we move the 5 end, we're going to do minus 5 end. See how I'm doing the opposite of what they're doing? It was addition, so now we're doing subtraction. See how I'm lining it up so that like terms are together? Uriel, can you tell me my next step? And then Joelle, you're going to tell me my last step. Yeah, minus 56 on both sides. When you're ready, Joelle? By what? Negative divided by a negative is a positive. When you're ready, we're going to flip it to the last page and just knock those ones out. Should be easy. We need to get good at problem solving. I'm going to give you guys a 1-minute head start, and then I'm going to just call on y'all. So go ahead and get started on number 8. You can talk to your neighbors. You can talk as you need to. On number 8, what was you guys' first step that you did? Distribute. Go ahead and distribute that. What am I going to do next? Anybody? This. Can I put the negative 7 with something? On the same side, just looking on this side. The negative 7 can go with the, what's that going to make? Negative 13. Give me my next step. Positive 13 on both sides? We could do that. That would be negative 21. Yep. What do I want to move? Yeah, the 7 into the other side. You're right. So we're going to add because it's undoing the opposite. Always going to be the opposite operation. Divide by what? Good. So then n equals negative 1. All right. Go ahead and try 9 and 10. I'll check back in a minute and go over them with you. All right, guys. Is it okay if I just go through and you can check your work? Do you want me to talk about it, or do you want me just to quietly do it so you can check your work? Do you want me to talk or quiet? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and distribute. 8 times v is 8v. 8 times 5 is 45. Bring down the 2v. Go ahead and distribute the negative 5. So it's going to be a negative 5v minus 5. Then I'm just going to combine like terms. So I'm going to put that 8 and the 2 together. That makes 10v plus 45. We want all the letters on one side and all the numbers on the other. How I pick which side is which's going to be the easiest for me. I prefer positive numbers, so I'm going to say plus 5v plus 5v. I try to keep the variable positive. It just makes it so I have less mistakes. So when I combine those, I've got 15v plus 45 is equal to negative 5. Then I'm going to get that constant to the other side. To move this to the other side, I'm just going to subtract. So I've got 15v equals negative 50. Okay? It's kind of, here we go. I feel like I missed a step. Did I miss a step? Oh, that's not 45, that's 50. Sorry, that's 40, that's 40, that's 40, that's 40, that's 40. So this makes this 45. So I've got 15v equals negative 45. And just divide by 15. Have you guys had a chance to try 10? I'll give you a chance to try. Okay, guys, I'm just going to knock out number 10. You're just going to distribute. Distribute, distribute. Then we're going to combine like terms. This side can't do anything because there's only 2 terms and they're not like, so we just write them down. These are going to go together to be 1 plus 40n. And now from here, it doesn't matter which side you put the variables on and which side you put the numbers on. I'm just going to say minus 40n. 7 plus 2n equals 1. Minus the 7, minus the 7. (2n) equals negative 6. Just divide by 2. And you're done. When you have that glued in, swing by my desk and show me.